You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
Sunny 93.3. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris joining us right now. How you doing, Dan?
Oh, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
I don't believe that.
No,
you have a tear in your eye as you say that.
Well, I'm fighting this battle. This has been one of the most brutal, past month. We're in March now, but
just
February.
Terrible.
But it's been kind of it's even a little rougher for me. As you may or may not know, my daughter Sadie Hayes lives in Florida.
Yeah, she probably rubs in the fact that it's like beautiful and wonderful.
She
there.
doesn't, not intentionally, but recently I get a video of my grandson playing t-ball outside in Florida. I say, "Hey, Dad, Henry's playing t-ball." And I look at this, and then I look out the window. It's like, just a little bit
But he'd
tougher.
never find that ball in my yard right now.
No, nor would he
White
be outside.
and under 9 feet of snow.
Comes up here to play t-ball right now. He'll be carried away by coyotes. Which, by the way, are all over. Whether you know it or not, town is lousy with coyotes.
Our town is?
Everywhere you look.
They're lurking behind the snowman?
It's crazy, man. Pets are missing.
I don't think any of that's accurate.
There are pets that are turning up missing, but
really?
I think it's
True, the head count at daycares is always off by 3 or 4 at the end of the day.
It's not.
It's just nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, I don't think they're not talking about it because you just made it up.
I got my finger on the pulse of this town, John.
Get your finger on something, all right. I don't know if I believe anything he says anymore. Still checking into the report of Sisseton belonging to France. So far, I've found nothing on that, by the way.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard about that, it started with I was researching the Louisiana Purchase because I thought that was probably one of the best real estate deals ever.
Oh, of course.
Pretty good deal.
It was. We got a whole bunch of land for, let's see, and we paid the French, what did we give them? I don't know, some baguettes and a cake or something. But when you look at the property lines of what was purchased and you get into South Dakota, which was part of that real estate deal, part of that land deal, you go up to the tippy-top northeastern corner. That wasn't part of it, man, and that's where Sisseton is. So Sisseton is still apparently under French rule.
I just don't think that's the case.
Okay, John, I read.
Okay, but the people from Sisseton they're disputing this.
The people of Sisseton are they're technically peasants.
They haven't. So they're French.
Yeah, they're still ruled by kings and stuff.
I don't think
I
that's
guess.
the way it works.
Is there a king of France? How does that work?
No,
Don't they have a president?
they have a president. Now, what's his name?
Macron?
I don't know. The French have a different word for everything. It's tough to keep up.
It's like they have a different word for everything.
They do.
They're
They
so
do.
It's their
pretentious.
language.
But just remember, when they say "we," they follow it with surrender.
All right, we've got manly men doing manly things in a manly fashion. That's on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris on Sunny 93.3.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Excuse me, haven't I seen you on the MTV?
On Sunny 93.3.
Sunny 93.3, thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris. It's time now for manly men doing manly things in a manly fashion.
Manly man are we.
For the ladies, too, and for your kids keeping score at home, the Heimlich maneuver has saved a whole lot of lives.
It has.
Now, even if you've watched it done in the movies or whatever, it always looks pretty slick. And it'll be... Actually, you can injure somebody if you're not doing it right.
My dad broke a guy's
And most people
ribs.
do have a couple
That's
of ribs
what I'm saying.
broken
Yeah.
when that's being
The
done.
fact of the matter is, if someone is in a choking situation and you're going to step in, the Heimlich maneuver should be really your last resort. First, some slaps on the back, get him to breathe.
Punch him in the gut.
Yeah, if you don't like him,
don't
smack
do
him
that.
around a little bit. In the Heimlich, it is under the ribs. It is making a fist and
Yep.
putting it where the diaphragm should be under the rib cage.
You can give yourself
And,
the Heimlich
let it
maneuver,
go.
too.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you're choking and there's nobody around, you're supposed to use a chair. Like you lean on a chair and do that. I don't know. There's a video online you can watch, I'm sure.
He just read the headline. He didn't see the video.
I didn't.
Yeah, he didn't read the thing all the way through. John, you are probably the most dangerous individual on the planet.
I know just enough.
You know just enough to get everybody killed.
I know
That's
just
what you
enough to
know.
let you know that there's something with this, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. All right, so you go. The Heimlich. Look it up. Learn it, know how to do it, and then CPR too, which we've already talked about.
Dr. Heimlich.
Because you just never, ever know. And, hey, we got another beauty tip here. See if you agree, Heidi.
Okay.
So I'm all over this stuff, man. Instead of layering on the powder before leaving work, say you're going to meet some people for drinks or something, or you're kind of in a hurry.
I can relate to this. I'm on board.
She's always in a hurry to get a drink.
So instead of redoing that whole powder thing, man, just press a few drops of face oil over your cheeks to refresh the foundation you already have on.
As if you already had on foundation.
And you'll create a supernatural glow.
Is that what you did today, Dan? Because you are glowing.
What is face oil?
I don't know. I'm just reading some junk I found on the internet.
He's just trying to sound woke, Heidi.
I was trying to sound woke. That's all I'm doing. How am I doing?
This sounds amazing.
Stop, Dan. Just stop.
This has been manly men doing manly things, and Dan's female tip of the day. I'm not sure what to call that. And whatever that other thing is.
I am just humiliated.
We've got water cooler talk on the way. Thanks for listening to Sunny 93.3.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show, now featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris
You heard it on your Walkman radio?
on Sunny 93.3.
Sunny 93.3. Time now for water cooler talk, brought to you by Aqua One. What are we going to chat about today, Mr. Farris?
Well, I think, I've been really getting into following what the state legislature is doing and kicking around, and, you'd think it'd be super important stuff. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's, I don't know, I see it as kind of frivolous.
Yeah.
South Dakota could be the next state in the union that bans vaping in public.
Really?
Vaping. Yeah, they've already done away with the, lit tobacco products.
Yeah.
Pretty much in every workplace and every public space and in city parks here in Sioux Falls recently.
Yeah.
And now vaping. I really don't know why it's just vapor. That's what it is. It's just a mist. But apparently a lot of other states are already doing that. A proposed bill, HB 1209, would amend the definition of smoking to include the use of electronic smoking devices.
I remember when they first came out, they kind of replaced cigarettes for a lot of people. And you would see people in places where you couldn't use a cigarette, they were using those. And there would be people come over and tell them they couldn't, and there'd be like these arguments. No, it's not a cigarette.
Well, I can see it if you're in a restaurant or something like that, but outside public spaces,
right? If you're
that
outside,
kind of thing,
there shouldn't be any
again,
reason.
it's just to me, it's well. I'll put it to you this way: I was one of those weirdos that wore seatbelts before it was a law.
Yeah,
I just did because I had
what they were there for.
Had a rollover situation with my friend Jimmy 100 years ago in Minneapolis, and
I'm one of those people who won't wear them because there is a law.
Well, when the state told me I had to, I stopped.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
That's just how my brain works.
I will not do it because they're telling me to.
It's like, get off.
I'm not hurting anybody.
The car dings at you now, so you have to. So we do.
Okay, true story. The last two vehicles I bought, I wouldn't buy them unless they disconnected the dinger.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we can't do that. And I said, well, I got the check right here, and I won't talk dealers because that's nobody's business. But neither of my vehicles ding.
Yeah. Ours will 10 times.
He's all over this.
You've counted them?
Well, yeah, because it's annoying. It's like, okay, how many
When
more?
is this going to quit? When you buckle?
It's true. Well, look at, again, it's, what is a government's place? State, local, municipal, federal, whatever the case may be. I was a bar owner when they started shaking out this no smoking thing in bars. I called my representative and said, hey, let's lay it out this way. I'm a private citizen.
Yep.
Yes, Dan. I own a business. Yes, Dan. I pay taxes on that business. Yes, Dan. I operate a legit business. Yes, Dan. My customers smoke. Uh-huh. That's a legal product. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me that at some point somebody's going to come in here and write me a ticket if somebody's smoking. Yes. I said, legitimize that for me. Tell me how that is correct. And he hemmed and hawed and finally said, honestly, I got nothing.
Yeah.
And yet there they went.
Yep.
Well, I think it's always in the,
the greater good.
Well, it's the best of intentions. I can't believe both of you. I cannot believe both of you. I'm not wearing my seatbelt because they tell me I have to.
Oh, you can't believe the laws I break, John. It's nuts. I should not be walking around free.
speed limit says 50. I go 90. You ain't going to tell me.
Speed limits I get.
What? No, that's the one that I probably don't get. If I'm driving, if there's a speed limit that's 65 and I'm going 70, I mean,
you're breaking the law.
I understand.
I get the speed limits.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Wow, John.
I can,
Yikes, you're bringing us down, man.
I've paid the price numerous times. And it's not because I intentionally speed, but my foot gets a little heavy once in a while, and I pay the tickets. I don't
got
fight.
the very first citation ever on the seatbelt law in Minnehaha County.
Did you really?
My car got hit. I was going to work, and my car got T-boned. A young lady didn't stop, hit me. Cop showed up, and I'm sitting in the front because he knew it was her fault. So I'm sitting in the front. We're just having a conversation, and all of a sudden he goes, "Hey Dan, were you wearing your seatbelt?" I said, "No." And he starts writing some stuff. Then he asked me again, "Okay, so were you wearing your seatbelt?" I said, "No." And he hands me a $25 ticket. I'm going, "What's this for?" That law had gone into effect midnight that night.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
4 hours after that law hit, I got a citation.
Dan is a trendsetter.
I didn't know. I had no idea what he was even talking about because I didn't know that. So.
I got all of my seatbelt tickets in Iowa.
I did too.
I haven't
got
had
one.
a single one in South Dakota.
I got two in Iowa.
That'll probably change.
Well, you
now
wouldn't have
that I'm
gotten them if you had
talking
been
about it on the
speeding.
radio.
Well, no, the first time, and we probably don't have time to talk about this, but we'll come back because it is certainly worth talking about. I'll talk about my because it was quite an interesting story. But we've got that was our water cooler talk. We've got entertainment news of the day coming up. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour. Also on the way, we have Jeff Harding from Prairie Real Estate Group. We'll be chatting with him here in a moment. Thanks for listening to Sunny 93.3.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris
What is that thing you're doing?
It's technical. It's one of our little toys.
on Sunny 93.3.
Sunny 93.3. Time now for entertainment news of the day. Do we want to do that first, or do you want me to tell you that seatbelt thing that I was going to tell you?
If you can do it really fast,
Okay,
because you're
I'll
a hardened criminal as far as we can tell.
I got pulled over one time. This is when we lived in Storm Lake, Iowa. And the gentleman that pulled me over, when I clicked the vehicle, I pulled over to the side of the road, clicked the vehicle and park, and he was already at my window. And I was like, whoa, that dude's fast. So gave me a ticket, gave me a warning for driving too fast. I passed the speed limit sign where you go from 30 to 40, but I started speeding up to 40 before I passed the sign. So he gave me a warning for that, but he gave me a seatbelt violation because I was not wearing a seatbelt. So the next morning on the radio, I was talking about this, and I'd mentioned this officer by name, and I just said, that dude must be, he's a fast guy, because as soon as I clicked it in park, he was at my window. So 2 days later, I'm pumping gas at a gas station, and this police car pulls up in front of my vehicle, and he gets out, and he walks over, and he's standing there writing something in a little pad, and I'm thinking, what in the world is he doing? And he comes over and rips out a seatbelt ticket for me and hands it to me while I was pumping gas. I said, what's this? He goes, that's a seatbelt violation. What? He's like, you weren't wearing your seatbelt. I'm pumping gas. He goes, no, when you were pulling in here. I said, oh, okay. And then as he walked away, he said, talk about that one on the radio. And then he said something else that I won't say on the radio.
A rogue cop.
Yeah.
And the dude at the gas pump next to me was cussing at this police officer. I'm like, we are not together. And then I just made sure I always wore my... And here's the thing. Seatbelt saved my life one time. So I, of all people, should always wear it. And I don't know why I didn't those couple of days, but I try to always wear my seatbelt now.
You're a good boy, John.
Well, I don't know about that. I bet that officer didn't think so. And
I'm not saying it wouldn't save my life. I'm saying if I'm not harming anybody else by not wearing it, don't tell me I have to wear it. It's none of your business. Right?
Yeah, whatever you say, Heidi.
you woke the beast, Dan.
It's nobody's
what were you doing?
business if I'm not harming anybody else.
Isn't it entertainment news right now? what do we have here? Anything? Anything, please? Change the subject. Did you have something, Dan?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I got just told. It's like, what? This is fascinating because you guys have been shopping for a house lately, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, real estate can be big biz.
Yeah.
It can be big. I was fascinated by this. You know, the Property Brothers, those twin brothers?
Yeah.
They have a reality show, and apparently they have, 3 or 4 other shows around,
they
around
do
the planet,
okay.
too.
Yeah.
They rake in about half $1 billion a year.
Nope.
I wouldn't doubt that.
About $500 million a year. The
Each,
boys,
or that's
the
together?
brothers.
That's probably the franchise together.
That is-
So
yeah,
that's only $250 million each, really.
I was a little stunned by that, and that's pretty much in real estate.
Wow.
Pretty much in real estate, and they both said they were kind of looking at showbiz years ago before this whole thing started.
Yeah.
And then it occurred to them after they started doing this, there's probably only maybe 10 or 12 actors on the planet that make the kind of money they do doing this.
Yeah.
And they're right. So, yeah, I just thought that was absolutely fascinating.
That's very cool. And they do a darn fine job, too.
Yeah, I guess I've seen the show on occasion. I like that house flip thing with that
yeah.
Chip and Joanne.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We met them in an airport.
They seem very, very nice.
Yeah, they do. They had a lot of bags with them. There was like a giant cart. It had to be.
It had to have had
2 months
25,
worth of-
30
yeah,
bags
it was
on
a
it.
giant, huge cart full of bags. We were like, wow, I wonder where they were. Somewhere way cooler than we were. I'm assuming.
Can't be that hard. You walk in an old house, you go, we're going to remove this wall and open up the kitchen a little bit. Well, we're done.
$500 million.
Go to
There you
commercial. Take out this wall and open up this space a little bit.
Dan, I think John and Heidi and Dan, we need our own reality show flipping houses.
I would love to go in and flip houses. Not even kidding.
Oh, this whole seatbelt and speeding thing, let's just gas up the car, go on a 5-state crime spree. Because really, it's just the man trying to keep us down, isn't it?
It is.
Isn't that where we're at?
It absolutely is.
I've got to go call an attorney. Thank you. Thank you guys for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour. Thank you, Dan, for being here.
Hey, my pleasure, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. You make me so nervous.
You'll be just fine.
It's another Movie Star Monday. Stick around. We got a dude from The Walking Dead coming up. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, with an extra hour of fun, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris on Sunny 93.3.